folks, Gavin from Gsport. Just another quick video. Haven't done one in a while, haven't done any videos in a brave while, just been busy enough trying to work through a bit of a backlog of work going on here at the minute. But a little update today. It's actually on my own engine, which is, well, that's part of it there. That's the rotor housing there. Also hopefully have a video for you soon on Jonathan's ST205 in the background there. We've had quite a bit of work done on that. It's nearing completion. It's not there yet, but still a fair bit to do actually, but we're seeing we're over the worst of it, should I say. So the rotor housing here is from the Gsport Mazda RX7 FD. Some of you may have seen the red one there that I purchased last year. So engine rebuild time, the engine was actually running fine. I suspected the main coolant seals around the engine would have been dodgy. I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll actually flip the camera around and I can sort of talk you through that a bit better. 1 second. Okay, so yeah, this is the rotor housing here, and there are large O-rings that run right around the circumference, the inner circumference here, and then also another one runs around the outer circumference. This is the water jacket in here, and then obviously you have your combustion chamber and intake and whatever else. So I suspected that this inner seal was damaged. This engine never been opened from new, and it was indeed. I found it was damaged. The engine was still running okay, it was running fine. Used to get a little tiny bit of smoke on startup from the coolant, and it would clear almost instantly. But we had sort of coolant pressurization issues now and again. Nothing major, but I just knew something wasn't right. I was going to try and nurse it through a season here, maybe try and get some track time on it. And I went to the first track outing this year, which was Kirkiston there. And albeit the engine didn't fail, there was no coolant failures. Coolant was actually very, very good. The temperature stayed within 3 to 4 degrees, which was excellent. Really, really good that way. But what I did get was a splash of oil up on the windscreen, and what had actually happened was going round the, I think it was going around Colonial, the long right hander after Deaders. All the oil was sloshing over to the passenger side of the car, which would be the left side of the car. And that's a common problem with these FD engines. It slushes over there on hard right hand turns and ends up getting blown out the filler neck. That ended up blowing out the filler neck into the catch can, and I think within 3 laps it had filled the catch can, and then on the 4th lap it actually overflowed the catch can and splattered a bit of oil out through the breather on the catch can and ended up on the windscreen. So I nursed the car back in anyway, still running fine, there was no issues. Checked all the data logs and oil pressure had stayed good, so there's absolutely no damage to the engine, no further damage anyway. But I got a puncture that day, so that was I got 3.5 laps, and that was me on my way home. And I decided then I was going to have to take the sump off, baffle the sump, do other bits and bobs, and I thought, look, I may as well just bite the bullet and rebuild the engine now, and then it's done. So this is where I'm at the minute, all stripped down. I have the rotors sent away to Garage Reg in England, and Colin over there, he's going to lighten, clearance and balance the rotors, or sorry, the full rotating assembly. He has the eccentric shaft, clutch, flywheel, all that sort of stuff he has over there for balancing. So that's away getting done at the minute, which gives me time to do some porting, which hence you can see the mess here. I was here late last night, I had to leave here in a hurry, and of course the whole workshop is stinking. There's stuff everywhere. I need to do a good clear out, but that's for another day. So anyway, decided to go with semi-peripheral port on this engine. So I don't actually have the other housing here. It's up. It's actually up inside the house, keeping warm there to keep the moisture away from it. So this is the machining that we've done here. Some of you may have seen the picture there earlier on the week where I'd started doing this. So what I've done, I'll try and sort of show this. I've drilled this. The ID of this is 30 mil. Excuse me, 30 mil, and it's 30 mil all the way down to this surface here. and then the ID of this surface is 25mm, and that's going to be the ID of the port, the semi-peripheral port. Now this flat surface here is where the insert I'm going to machine is going to butt up against, and it'll seal it there. So I've ordered some O-rings, very fine 1mm cross-sectional O-rings, and obviously I'll use a bit of sealer and stuff in there. And there is one place in that it's not that side, it's, yeah, let me see if I can show this. This little corner here, because there's no sidewall that comes up from that corner, it's just pretty much level with the flat edge. That's the only real area of concern as regards to sealing, because obviously this is the cooling jacket, so coolant flows through here, so we can't have the coolant getting into the combustion chamber, and we can't have it obviously coming outside the engine either. So there's going to be an O-ring on the top here as well. Excuse me. This is machined out to 40mm on the top here, and some of you may notice that I've machined right into the threaded section there for where the stud goes to bolt this on. That's done actually on purpose. And what's going to happen there, well, the idea is, I've made this test piece just it'll be machined down, but it's actually too loose of a fit. But there's going to be an insert sitting in there like so. Obviously it'll not be sitting this high, it'll be machined down level with this surface here, which is also the same as this surface. And once it's in position, I'm going to re-drill this hole, and then I'll thread. So it'll be threaded. The threads will essentially run into the side of the insert, and what that will do is, once it's all in place and the stud is in there, that will help actually hold the insert in, and it won't come out. Now the insert's also going to be held in. I'll probably drill a small hole in this side and do the same on the other side, and put a little grub screw right through the length of that and into the side of the insert to hold it in place. It means that if the stud ever has to come out, the insert won't go anywhere. You know, it's held in there. It's not in permanently. It can be removed if you need to replace the O-rings. Otherwise, we'll just weld it up. But yeah, it'll hold the insert from moving, and it'll be serviceable, let's say. Now this insert here is very loose, so it's going to be a slight interference fit. That's obviously not an interference fit. This is just a test piece I'm sort of fiddling with to try and get the right settings on the lathe here to turn these inserts down. So I'll probably flip this upside down and machine it again, and try and get my diameter spot on for that. After that, it's a case of obviously machining the top surface all flat down. Then the inlet manifold has to be modified, but that's for another day. And I have two of these to do. So this is the first one. This is pretty much a test. And again, as mentioned, I'm no machinist. I'm just, you know, messing about with this sort of stuff, and I think it should work. I don't see any issue why it shouldn't work. But yeah, that's where we are at the minute. I'll maybe get another look at this later this evening. I'll maybe have another go at doing a bit of machining on it and see if I can get our diameter and the settings right in the lathe to turn this piece down so it just fits nice and snug in. I can't fit it yet because I don't have the O-rings. And obviously I have to machine O-ring grooves into this little step surface here, which is going to be tricky as well. And then I'll have to machine an O-ring groove into the outer surface of this at the bottom, and also drill down through the centre and bore it out to 25mm so that it sits nicely with this port at the bottom, nice and flush. But yeah, that's everything. You hear the rain coming on there. It gets pretty noisy in here when it rains, so I'll leave it at that, and keep an eye out for any progress, and I'll speak to you guys soon.